In the last episode we painted the top of the boat with white marine gloss and the spars with epoxy resin. I've been thinking about what sort of finish to have on the inside of the transom and finally decided to paint it, so I gave it a coat of primer. Then I took off the masking tape around the rails and gave them a coat of varnish. And while I had the tin of varnish out and it was a fine day, I thought I might as well paint some other parts as well. So that's the companionway hood, the dropboard retainers, and the transom. Time for some more varnish on the companionway slide. Then I started masking off around the cockpit because I was going to paint this a different colour. I decided to go for a sand yellow. I quite like the look of this on some other boats I'd seen. Although it did remind me slightly of Austin Max's from the 1970s. Time for some more varnish on those spars. My acrylic had arrived for the dropboards, so I checked this was the right size. Then I set about making a piece of sapele into a joining piece for the two dropboards. I used the table saw to cut slots along either edge of this. Sanded some beveled edges on either side, gave it a coat of unthickened epoxy resin, then used thickened epoxy resin to attach it to the top dropboard. Then I put the dropboards in place and marked on the curve where the companionway slide would meet them. I gingerly cut this out on the bandsaw. And drop them into place. I think they look pretty smart. Rather than just circular acrylic portholes, I wanted to make some brass porthole surrounds, which I think looks much better on this type of boat. So I bought some brass discs. Then on some 6mm marine ply, I marked out some circles the same size as the brass discs. Then I marked on the position of the acrylic discs and divided circles into 5 so I can mark the positions for the brass bolts to go through. On one of the brass discs I found the centre and drilled through as a template for the other discs. On the marine ply discs I drilled the bolt holes, which were 4mm diameter, and then cut the wooden discs out before carefully sanding them into shape. I attached these discs one at a time to a block of wood for cutting out the centre circles using a hole saw on the drill press. Then I was able to use each wooden disc as a template to mark the bolt holes on its corresponding brass disc, before cutting out the central hole in this also. Then I filed down any rough edges. I had long since lost my marks for the porthole positions on the top sides, so I had to pull out the plan once again and cut out the top side section of the plan and then tape this in position on the boat so I could find the position of the portholes accurately. And I marked each of these with a small drill hole. Then I drew on a circle to accommodate each acrylic disc. Before cutting these out. It was a bit tough to drill through the side of the boat, which was quite reassuring. Then I marked the positions for the bolt holes on each porthole and drilled these out as well. So here we have the boat before she got her portholes and after.